Let's begin. Hello everyone, it's Sunday, February 23rd. My name is Liam McMahon. Welcome to the weekend webinar sponsored by GlobalFXClub.com. Thank you very much for joining me. Please look over the risk disclaimer that should now be on your screen. Then we'll go to the charts. If you're watching the recording, take a second to pause the recording, carefully look over the risk disclaimer, and then continue on. As always, if you have questions, concerns, requests, please by all means ask for them. I'm willing to take a look at basically anything that you have a ticker for or that I know the ticker for. So any currency pairs, any stocks, any major indices, bonds, commodities, whatever, I'll be happy to look at it for you. Tell you what I know, what I see, and from there. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the Nikkei because one, it's on my screen, and two, I'm actually going to be carefully watching the Nikkei tonight. It is in a very interesting position, and it's also been just beautiful lately in terms of how it's been trading, technical to a fault. If you kick out to the daily chart, all right, you can see this trend line has been amazing since June 6th. All right, we have one test, 2 or 3 tests here, 4 tests here, 5, a break, then 6, 7 on the upside. All right, so very well traded technically. If we drop back down to the 4-hour chart, we are at sort of this apex here of the potential bear flag after the head and shoulders. All right, so we are at resistance. And the levels, I've been tweeting this to watch, 15,000, 14.5 thousand. All right, so 14.5 thousand. If we break below there, that triggers the bear flag, and I would expect to see some significant selling, about 2,000 points worth of selling. On the other hand, if we break back above 15,000, that would break above the 200 period EMA here on the 4-hour chart. It's in like this tannish pink color. And we would also sort of break back within that trend line, sort of invalidate that bear flag, and I think it would start to squeeze a lot of bears. All right, I think we'd see a lot of short covering, a lot of these like sort of structural macro bears who are playing this as a potential major top. Give up for a little bit, all right, until we get back up to about 15.5 or 16,000. So we could get a fairly aggressive move higher. If we get that fairly aggressive move higher, what's going to happen is that the yen pairs are going to have an aggressive move higher. All right, so here's dollar yen. We had some weird price action in the going into the close on Friday. So this candle here, tip down to the 1-hour chart. Okay, you can see a lot of it, not a lot of it, but this last bit of selling happened with no real liquidity, so I'm not really counting that as anything yet. We'll see how we handle everything right now. We're a little bit higher on the day, nothing really exciting, but I would expect to see the pound or dollar yen continue to rally up towards that 104 handle. Some of the other yen pairs, CAD yen, pretty good one to short if you are looking for the Nikkei to break down. Your stop above 94, so which would be very aggressive stop right now, pretty large, but that's the setup. Euro yen, looking for that one to continue to rally as well. Aussie yen remains capped by this descending trend line. I don't have a setup on Aussie yen, but I've been watching this descending trend line basically since like here, back in the very beginning of last month. So I'm just hoping that eventually we get a strong move above, because I'd really love to buy this potential breakout. I think that could be an absolutely spectacular move higher. So I'm definitely keeping my eye on Aussie yen, but I'm not going to touch it until we're above that trend line. I have no interest in front running Aussie anything, betting on Aussie strength. It's been kind of too much of a losing game lately to bet on Aussie strength. Let's see. Let's do some of the other. Let's take a look at pound yen. Pound yen kind of dancing around a little bit here. Still kind of underneath this trend line, but you can see it hasn't been overly consistent. The pound got beat up at the end of yesterday's trading session against a lot of things. So you can see here, again, a lot of this selling here last hour. We've got higher here on pound dollar. This is the flag on pound dollar. I'm still looking for this to break out higher. Very weird candles here on Friday on the pound. Let's actually take a look at them. Drop down to the hourly chart and see exactly what happened on Friday. So on Friday, we got this. All right, this was the retail sales. candle. So we sold heavily into retail sales. Retail sales missed expectations and we rallied. All right, so that was the first sign that something weird was going on, that we had someone looking to maybe play some light markets here. Then we broke out, and then all of a sudden we dropped down on no news again, and then sold off again pretty heavily in this last hour. So the pound was weird all Friday. So take that day with a grain of salt. I'm going to just kind of mentally ignore this false breakout here for now and look to see if that flag stays intact going, and then eventually heads higher today. So any thought on USD NOK and pound Swiss? Okay, so let me do the Nordic first. I'm actually going to show you SEK first, the Swedish krona, because that's my preferred trade, and I have strong opinions on this, and I am actually, on my personal account, heavily long. I was buying all in this area here, all like on Thursday and Friday at small positions, just building up here. I'm pretty much content with my size now. I do like it, this breakout to continue. Very clean break, retest, again on that weird selling into the end of the day. Now we've gapped higher, so I like, as long as basically 6.5 holds, I like this to continue to the upside. NOK, I would assume, is somewhat similar. Actually, no, it's not. Huh. Hold on, let's see here then. Let me see exactly if I can figure out what the Norwegian currency is doing. I'm going to assume that Norway is celebrating their Olympic medal count. I think they finished third with some NOK strength, but this doesn't look particular. It's interesting. There's some fairly significant divergence between the Norwegian and Swedish currencies here, which I guess actually you can see, which actually makes sense. This is the cross, all right, so this is NOK SEK, and you can actually see here that we did have a breakout here, so the Norwegian krone has a good reason to be stronger than its Swedish counterpart. I still like it to the upside, but I don't know exactly where I'd buy it is the problem. Ideally, I think above 6.2 again, all right? I would maybe start looking to build positions for a move. But I have a hard time buying it when it's underneath this trend line. So if you are looking for an opportunity to short the dollar, this could be it. You could try it up around 6.15, or even just using these 3 moving averages as your opportunity. We are showing some RSI divergence here, right? Fairly light, but still worth noting. So we may start to see a rally here, but that one's pretty unclear to me right now. I think that no matter what your bias is, hey Chase, thanks. No matter what your bias is on dollar pairs or Nordic pairs, I think that the Norwegian currency is not your cleanest option right now. Let's look at the daily chart. Let's see if there's anything longer term here. Yeah, I just don't. I mean, well, all right. So one thing we did get was a nice rally ahead of this 200-day EMA. So we may see it go up from here. So I guess 6 is your support level, and then 6.2 is your resistance level. And in between those two, I don't have a great sense of what the pair is looking to do, and I probably will continue to avoid it. Pound Swiss, I don't look at a lot. I do want to show you Euro Pound, which is sort of the inverse of Pound Swiss, because that one's a little bit clearer. But Pound Swiss is decently supported around here, all right? But again, a lot of that came from that weird pound selling that we saw at the very end of yesterday. Drop back down to the 4-hour. So we are at a pretty decent support level for Pound Swiss if you wanted to buy it. If you wanted to sell it, I'd wait for a close below 147, put it there. So yeah, buy against 147, sell below 147. Your next major support is about 145.75. And your next major resistance is 149. So I'd just play those triangles as however your bias tells you to play them. On the other hand, Euro Pound, pretty actually decently clear here. So longer term descending wedge, held this wedge bottom, popped up, flagged, and we broke out again on that weird pound selling at the end of the day. But right now, you know, it's holding up okay. Gap slightly down, but you know, as long as it holds above 82.50 or so, Euro Pound looks set for higher. Its next major resistance level is about 83. Above there, 83.5, this range right here, depending on exactly how you draw the top of the wedge. And if we get above there, we could see a fairly significant rally. So I'd watch Euro Pound. If Euro Pound rallies, Pound Swiss is probably going to fall. So sort of just bear that in mind. Some of the other Euro crosses, I guess we'll start with Euro Dollar. Flat on the day, so far no major gaps. Slight gap down, it looks like. It's rallied extensively on Friday, now kind of consolidating. Major support is this 136.85 level. First resistance is about 137.75. And then above there, these 138.90, so 139 highs basically are the next level to watch. Above 139, start to look out, and then we may actually start to see some more ECB chatter about negative deposit rates or whatever, and a play to try to keep the currency a little bit lower. I'm not sure they want it much above 1.4. Euro Aussie, kind of unclear here. Still holding this trend line, still holding this breakout. I still like it for higher. Would need to clear 153.50 and then 154, but I do still like this one to continue to march to the upside. Aussie dollar, okay, it needs to break down below 942 is the 200 period EMA on the 4-hour chart, and also a trend line, so a nice confluence there. Below there should start to see aggressive selling. A 90.50 is your resistance level. Kiwi dollar. Kiwi stock now in the middle of its range. Okay. Top side 83.60, bottom side 82. Play those levels. I wouldn't be touching it up here. I would either try to sell it down here or buy it up here, get free, and hope for a breakout. That's how I would trade Kiwi. It's just for a long time now. Lots of choppy, lots of whatever. So if you're going to play it, I would be lower leverage, break even, and just hope that you catch the next major move and sort of rinse, repeat until we finally get a breakout. Dollar CAD. Finally started to see dollar CAD's rally slow on Friday. Nice little spinning top tight doji candle there, and then some follow through. But generally, pullbacks, opportunities to add on pound dollar. This 50% retest suggests that we will see a move up into the 114, 115 range. So I'd be watching shorter term charts, trying to get long dollar CAD basically every X number of pips down, however you want to manage that strategy. But I do still like dollar CAD to at least make a new high up towards around 113. EuroCAD, nothing really great to trade on EuroCAD. Pound CAD, RSI divergence, kind of a breakdown. If we look at the daily candle, okay, kind of an aggressively bearish candle here. Very aggressive. So I don't really want to short it. Your stop would have to be 180, like a pretty big stop, about 250 pips or so. And this pair has been, erasing deficits pretty handily. Plus that pound, the way the pound traded on Friday, I don't really want to short it at all. I wonder if there's some sort of setup going on here where we're gonna lure in some bears to start shorting the pound before they rip it higher again. So I'm avoiding the pound for now. Certainly to the short side. I don't mind it to the long side again on pound dollar, but not really eager to short it, even if there are nice setups like there is on pound CAD. Pound Aussie, if we see a breakout above this range here, let me pop it down to the 4-hour chart. All right, above like 187, that could actually be a very nice long. It's kind of coiling here, well supported by those 4-hour moving averages. So if we do see a pop, I would probably be looking to buy that one as well. Let's do E-minis. Uh, 1850 is your resistance level. Now we saw a little bit of a dip here, nothing really exciting. Still kind of pressed up against this resistance level, so watch out for that. NASDAQ, same thing, basically looks identical. So again, up against the resistance level, looking to try to squeeze higher. Just be careful about getting caught short, because if it does squeeze higher, it's going to be aggressive and it could get ugly. Gold looks good. Flagging could continue to flag for a little bit longer. That's fine. Looking for a sustained break here and a continued move up. I don't know, at least 1400. All right, I would think probably more like 1500 would be reasonable in the coming weeks and months. This is a weekly chart. So I would definitely be cautious about shorting gold. Crude also actually very good for a continued move up towards even like 112. Kind of held the lows here, broke out above this resistance level, and now I think we see a little bit of a reset and then a continued rally. So I do think that crude looks good as well. Questions, concerns, thoughts, anything that you want me to take a look at? Let's take a quick look at dollar Swiss. I always forget to look at dollar Swiss. I don't trade it. I hate it. I've hated it for a long time now. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So it's not a pair that I regularly evaluate. Right now, okay, we made that new low. Bulls are looking to break out above this descending trend line, or I guess you could give it a shot at about 88. Even I would have to consider buying it at 88. So sort of keep an eye out for that. As far as bears go, I mean, kind of a little flag type thing going on here, so you could just keep an eye on that and then trade it for one more low if it breaks. That's kind of how I feel about dollar Swiss. Yeah, that's meters. Yeah, that's actually a good point, Chase. There has been a couple pairs that have been hitting. Yeah, so all right, we'll look at Euro Swiss in a second. We'll talk about the SNB. So ASX 200. Oh boy, I don't know if I know how to find that chart, John. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. Net positioning. So retail positioning. I don't know the cut figures off my head. The bigger guys. But retail trading has been hitting some extremes lately. On the pound, all right, we hit very strong net shorts on the pound last week, like 8-1 or something like. Whoa. I don't know what the number is off the top of my head for. Dollar Swiss, but I would not surprise me to see a lot of people starting to get long dollar Swiss. So yeah, we may see kind of a blowout low. Where all of a sudden you look and dollar Swiss has just eaten everyone else and it's like 75, 100 pips lower. We may see that upcoming, and then if we do see that, I would probably try to buy it. But at that point, I'm kind of going to just be careful about it. Let's see if I can. Yeah, sorry, I don't have the ASX 200 chart. If you send me a message on Twitter, I can try to find it, and I'll send you a marked up version of it. So if you remember, yeah. So 8.5 is huge. Like I said, the pound was 8, and we saw it sell before it rallied. So if we have 8.5 longs on dollar Swiss. Yeah, I mean, that could sometimes sentiment extremes mark a bottom, but it tend to lead to blowout runs lower, followed by reversals. So yeah, actually that's a great point, Chase. I'm glad you mentioned that. I would be looking then to see some sort of giant move lower on on that. Euro Swiss, it's worth noting. All right, so we're on Euro. Oh wait, I gotta switch my. All right, you can see my charts. Great. Okay. So this is Euro Swiss. Worth noting where we're at right now. Let's go to a weekly chart. Okay, this is kind of a big level for Euro Swiss. And yeah, I don't know, what would happen if we blew it out, but could be interesting. All right, I'm guessing there are a pretty decent number of stops sitting below 1.2, and there may even be a few sitting below 1.2150. So if we do see this a sort of Swiss strengthening move, we could see some pretty dramatic action on Euro Swiss. And if we do see that, yeah, I would probably be betting on the SNB to start talking or actually moving money around. So I'd probably be looking to buy any dramatic spikes lower. I may actually, now that I think about it, just start putting some really small orders down here around 1.2, 1.2050, 1.21. Etc. Make sure that you have the orders are small and that you free up some capital in case the blowout move is way lower. But it might not be a bad idea to start stringing some orders down here just in case you get lucky and we see a stop grab lower followed by the S&B intervening to push it back above. That could actually be a fairly outstanding trade. So that's something I would keep an eye on on Euro Swiss specifically. Do it on Euro Swiss, not dollar Swiss. The S&B cares what Euro Swiss is at. That's what they're going to be selling. They're going to be dumping euros, or rather buying euros, dumping francs to buy euros, and they'll be aggressive about it. So keep that in mind. Maybe start stringing some orders down there if you feel comfortable enough with trading to do that. Any other questions or things you want me to take a look at? No, nothing? What's Facebook and Twitter doing? Yeah, let's take a look at social media stocks. Why not? I'm assuming that's what you mean. Facebook, a little bit. So Facebook, Goofy Candle. Remember they bought WhatsApp app, a messaging service, for like $19 billion. So after hours, people sold the stock because they were stunned at the price tag. But you can see that we've since easily more than recovered it. Yeah, Facebook still looks good. I want to buy it, but I want to buy it down here. I don't want to buy it at 68. I want to buy it at 60. Worst case scenario, I want to buy it at like 65. And then Twitter, I have no interest in owning. I think Twitter looks bearish here. Why am I on Twitter extensions? Okay. I think like we're capped there, and I think we're kind of flagging here. So I am looking for Twitter to fade a little bit here. I don't have a particularly strong interest in buying it. I absolutely would buy Facebook though. I don't think long-term Facebook is a great investment opportunity necessarily, but the chart looks pretty constructive right now. Any other questions? I can show you Apple too if you want. People like looking at Apple, although some people get angry when I tell them that I'm bearish Apple. I officially became bearish Apple after this candle here. So my newsletter is short from here-ish. I'm looking for a move down towards 500 at least. This was a gap fill, Gravestone Doji at the top of the cloud, fairly bearish combination. And we've seen it underperform markets the last couple of days. So we'll see if Apple can find a bid anytime soon, but I do think that it is heading a little bit lower first. All right. Any other questions? Any other requests? If you think of stuff after, you can always send me a message on Twitter. I try to respond to everything I get. If I don't respond to you, send it again. Sometimes I get distracted. Happy to share charts with everyone there. You can obviously also find me at the Global FX Club chat rooms if you're a member or if you want to take our free trial. And follow the @GlobalFX Club Twitter handle for updates on there. All right. So if there aren't any more questions, thank you guys very much for joining me. I appreciate you taking some time out of your Sunday. Enjoy what's left of your weekend if you have any left, and enjoy trading this. Talk to you soon.